He kōna ipurangi tēnei nā te reo irirangi o Aotearoa.
This podcast was made with funding from the Public Interest Journalism Fund.
Malo lelei, welcome to In Case You Missed It, and to Tongan Language Week. Ko tāne tōku ingoa, time to tahuna te ahi with a look at what's been happening here in Aotearoa and overseas. Well, the Rugby World Cup kicks off this weekend in Paris, and the All Blacks take on France in Pool A of the tournament. Come on, the All Blacks. Staying with sport, the largest crowd ever to witness a women's sport event filled Nebraska's Memorial Stadium midweek with over 92,000 fans watching the five-time NCAA state champion volleyball team beat Omaha 3-0. After the Huskers won the first two sets, the attendance record was announced to the red-clad Nebraska faithful, who cheered wildly. 2023 has got to be the year for women's sport. So good. Back home, a Canterbury father and son have made a fossil find of global significance. Lee Love and his 13-year-old son David found a fossil of one of the earliest ancestors of a group of birds now restricted to the tropics.
I was quite amazed at what came out of all the sediment. It was just really cool to see that.
Canterbury University researchers say the find shows the birds may have originated here, when it was previously thought that they started out on the other side of the world.
Potentially, New Zealand was a refuge for the evolution of the birds, a place where birds may have survived this catastrophic event 66 million years ago.
In local sport, more than 20,000 intermediate-age athletes and supporters descended on Tauranga this week for the annual AIMS Games. This year, over 370 schools took part in the games, which are specifically geared for kids aged between 11 and 13.
We know that this group of kids are going to have an experience that they'll remember for the rest of their life.
Sports ranged from the likes of netball and football to rock climbing, hip-hop dancing and heaps more. On September 4th, 2010 at 4:30 in the morning, a major earthquake measuring 7.1 on the Richter scale hit Canterbury. The earthquake caused injuries, damaged buildings and infrastructure, but also kicked off a series of quakes for the region, including the deadly one in February 2011. Earthquakes can cause distress and anxiety is common for a lot of people. But what about social anxiety? Check this out.
Social anxiety. What is it? Well, most of us feel nervous, shy, and self-conscious at times, especially in front of others. And most people can get through it and don't let it stop them from doing the things that they want to do. But some people experience those feelings in a very extreme way. They might be so self-conscious that the thought of meeting new people or saying the wrong thing can make them feel physically sick.
If you experience social anxiety, you might get super stressed out doing things like
Hello?
talking to people you don't know, being yourself in a group setting, or being the center of attention. You might experience low self-esteem, worry about the way you look and act, and feel like everybody is watching you all of the time.
You might even experience physical symptoms like blushing, sweating, trembling, a racing heartbeat, feeling sick, or extreme panic attacks.
It's no wonder people living with social anxiety often feel extremely hopeless, sad, and depressed. But why does this happen? Well, social anxiety is your body reacting to a big rush of adrenaline called your fight or flight response. Usually it happens when you're in danger and it prepares you to fight or make a quick getaway.
The problem is, it's happening in social situations where you may be scrutinised, evaluated, or judged by others, and not because your life is in danger. If this sounds like you, kia kaha, don't give up. There is help out there. Social anxiety can be treated. You just need to be brave and ask for help from your friends, whānau, or your GP. You could also go online and visit anxiety.org.nz, where you'll find loads of resources and people who understand what you're going through.
Well, that's us for this week. Thank you so much for joining us. In case you missed it, we'll be back next week. Have a great weekend. Hei kona.
This podcast was made with funding from the Public Interest Journalism Fund.